Hello. Because there's not enough videos on the internet, I wanted to make another one. This one's about a vision I had in around August 2019, where I was just trying to clear my mind and I kept getting interrupted. And eventually I was like, oh, okay, sure, tell me what you got to tell me. And it was a Pleiadian entity giving me a download. It had to do with seeing the evolution of the planet. I saw like from the beginning all the way through the present and into the future. And then shown specifically the 2020, that year, what that would be like. And ultimately, I would state that our value systems will change. We will also get in touch with this idea that there are aliens and it will be normalized, where we all just know and accept that there's aliens out there, and that will be just how we live our lives. The idea like food becomes important and more important than, let's say, gold. Like, yeah, gold is great and all, but can you eat gold, So our values will shift, and ultimately we will become a more higher functioning society where we care about each other more and have higher ideals that we all work towards. And while I was in this meditation, it should be noted that I have been meditating for 15 years and have had various experiences like outer body experiences and Kundalini awakenings, and I have tried several different kinds of meditations for several different reasons. So this idea, this information that I'm presenting does have some validity only in the fact that I do have practice meditating, let's say. Like that should be my authority of meditating, is that I've been doing it for a while. Whether or not I can believe this vision, well, so far a lot of it's come true, a lot of what I was shown, and I do get the sense that that will happen, like including the sun, issues with the sun, issues with the electricity grids on the planet. And I wasn't shown specifics about how and when and why. I was shown more of a general sense of where collectively we're all headed. There will be some people that decide not to come. That means they will not be here anymore. But overall, like the majority of humans will want to continue to go into this new planet. Finally, I did want to talk about empathy and why I think that's so important. This is really why I'm bringing this video to the viewers of the few people that will watch it. Because empathy is actually, I think, one of the most important and underlooked things in our society right now. How we connect with people, how do we create our reality, and how do we ultimately change who we are into what we're desiring. All of those processes are using empathy, and we use empathy all the time. You can use empathy even to travel through time, even like if you want to empathize with a certain time, if you want to empathize with a feeling, a person, an animal, you name it. Ultimately, that's how we connect, is through empathy. And through this shared resonance, like eventually, if we're able to empathize with other people and open our hearts and use that power that it lives in our hearts and in our bodies and our minds, souls, all that connected together, we become closer to what we really are, which is a part of God. We're just aspects of God, and we've somehow used our godliness to convince ourselves of what we are and believe it's real. And even that itself is empathy. Like, how do you become a human being? Well, you empathize with a human being. That's how it works. So if I wanted to, like, let's say, become an enlightened being, well, I'd empathize with an enlightened being. And there are lots of people who study Buddha or call on Jesus or whatever. That's all empathy. Everything's empathy when it comes to that kind of resonating frequency that we're trying to achieve. And so, there's a few things here about empathy that I might talk about. The idea of merging ourselves with it. Like the Vulcan mind meld in Star Trek. So what Spock uses, the Vulcan mind meld, that's like empathy, right? Like psychic, and you can read a person's mind or feel their feelings and know their thoughts. Because ultimately we're all the same thing. It's a unified collective here. Connecting with nature and connecting even with God. Like, let's say you wanted to be closer with God. Well, we would just simply use our empathy, and not in an unconscious way. Really what I'm saying is the next foundational step in our collective evolution has to do with empathy. So the more we understand empathy and learn empathy and feel empathy and become empathy, or use it as a tool, let's say, consciously, then the more we will resonate into the future that we're all headed. Well, maybe not all, but most. Okay.